What happens to a story when you rip away themes of morality, family, faith, a basic understanding of what it means to stand for good? You get Disney Star Wars. In this video, I'm going to share with you the biggest reason Star Wars is a dying brand, and you may be surprised by what I'm about to say. The root of Disney's problems has nothing to do with surface level politics or the division of the fans. Those are just symptoms of a greater issue. It has everything to do with good versus evil. More specifically, Disney Lucasfilm, and it seems all of Hollywood, doesn't even know what good or evil is. I probably don't even need to tell you this, but Disney Star Wars has failed in many ways. By most metrics and from the opinion of many lifelong fans, it's a dying brand. There's been years of discourse and arguments about the problems with the writing and execution of the sequel trilogy and the vast majority of media created under the Disney Lucasfilm regime. Disney has failed so epically that there are now multiple very successful YouTube channels built solely on the back of destroying the libtard menace that is Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm. For a lot of people, Star Wars is dead, killed by Hollywood executives and writers that quite literally do not know right from wrong. And that is what I believe is the biggest problem facing Star Wars. You see, for many people, myself included, Star Wars was a driving factor in childhood. It was more than just a film saga. It taught me life lessons in a way that I could understand them. And those lessons would grow more and more complex as I grew older. When I was 5 years old watching my dad's VHS of Empire Strikes Back, all I knew was that the scary guy in black wins at the end and that our hero has to hold on in order to be saved by his friends and live to see another day. Looking back, I realized that I was learning that sometimes you're gonna lose in life, and that's okay. Sometimes all you can do is hold on and surround yourself with people who love you. And on a more broad scale, Star Wars has always had basic lessons about life that everybody can relate to. It's a story of fathers and sons, family and faith. It's a story of the sins and fall of a man and ultimately his redemption. It's a story about light versus dark, good versus evil.
Heroes, what makes a hero? What's friendship? What's the idea of sacrificing yourself for something larger? They're all really basic things. They say, well, we don't have to make a movie about that. It's very obvious, but it's actually not. It's not that obvious to a lot of people unless you have somebody tell you every generation that this is what our country believes in. So this is what we believe in. And with Star Wars, it was, you know, the religion, everything was so taken and put into a form that was easy for everybody to accept, so it didn't fall into a contemporary mode where you could argue about it. It went everywhere in the world because they could say, oh, the things I believe in are the same as that. The idea of why do we think the way we think, why do we do what we do, why do we form our society the way we find it, it was something I did when I was about 8 years old with my mother when she was putting me to bed. I asked her a question. I said, Mom, if there's only one God, why are there so many religions? And it's a question that has fascinated me ever since.
So what happens when you rip away the morality, the family, and the faith of Star Wars? What happens when you take away the most intrinsic and basic understanding of what it means to be human, to stand for good and righteousness, and instead inject a self-insert of identity politics and messaging meant to divide a fan base?
I want to ask you both because this is, I would say, arguably the gayest Star Wars, I think, by a considerable margin. And
I think it's canon that R2-D2 is a lesbian.
You get Disney Star Wars, a galaxy void of morals, where families don't need fathers, where the good guys are bad, where evil is celebrated. In a universe where you go for escape, you are met with a sad, twisted reflection of the real world. That's why I think the simple root of all of these problems that we see with Disney Star Wars come down to good versus evil. How can you write a story of good versus evil when you don't even know what good is? When your own real life is a reflection of evil, yet you celebrate it and you think it's good.
How do you feel?
Am I gay? Yes.
Well, no, I know you are gay, but I'm asking, are you excited about putting this, this is going to be a talking point?
Is it going to be a talking point?
I'm sure so.
Because nerds are gay.
So how do you fix Star Wars? Well, one, you get rid of the morally corrupt people who are running the ship who don't even know right from wrong. I'm not saying we need saints writing for Star Wars, but what we should do is stop letting people like Harvey Weinstein's assistant into the driver's seat. Number two, we get back to the basics of what Star Wars is. It's family, redemption, and good triumphing over evil. Disney, I guarantee you, If you just gave us a strong masculine character struggling with real, relatable problems, who has fun and faithful sidekicks, you will have an infinitely better story and much better viewership. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having a female lead, but you have swung and missed so many times with that one at this point that you might want to consider going back to the basics. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.